Welcome back to our video series on tips and tricks for PowerPoint. This is the second of 3 videos and we're going to go with 15 tips and tricks. Tip number 1 is converting our ink to text and shape. Now for those who have a stylus pen, this will be much easier. A little bit difficult on the mouse pad, but let's see how we go. So we go up to our Draw tab, grab a pen, and I'm just going to write in hello. Once we've done that, we go and grab the Lasso Select tool, highlight that word, and we're going to click here, ink to text. And you can see there it converts it into a little text box. We could edit that and do what we please, change color, shape, height, etc. The other one we had there is our ink to shape. So let's grab a different color. Let's grab our red pen. Let's draw a circle. Let's get a square and a triangle. Again, our lasso select. Grab those 3 shapes and convert that ink into some shapes. Again, we can go in and we can edit those shapes, etc., and do what we please with them. Next, we've got our ink to maths. We've got our equation editor and an ink replay, which comes in really handy if you're doing some working out and you want to step the students through that whole process. So again, let's grab a pen. Let's type in equation 2x plus 7 is equal to, let's say 9. Grab a lasso effects, highlight that whole equation, and then click up here where it says ink to maths. And again, we've got our equation edited there for us. The next one we're going to do is to use the equation editor. So in the ink to maths, we open it up here and we've got this ink equation editor. Like before, we can go in and we can type our equation, and you can see it populates in that bar at the top as we're typing. So if we make a mistake, we can go in and edit that at the end. So we had our 2x plus 7 is equal to 9, and when we're happy that this is correct up the top, we can insert that onto our page. Again, we can start editing that. We can make that bigger, doing whatever we want with that equation. Now what we can also do is using that ink replay tool. So we go back to our draw tab. Let's do some inking. So if we wanted to actually do that calculation, let's grab our pen. We've got 2x plus 7 is equal to 9. Because we've got a plus 7 over here, we're going to go 2x is equal to 9 minus 7, which is 2, and therefore x is equal to 1. Up here, we've got our ink replay, and you can see now it actually steps it through for us. We could actually do a step by step, we can slow it down, etc. Pretty handy little tool. PowerPoint tip number 3 is the eyedropper. Let's say I highlight this circle. We go up to our shape format. What I can go into here now and do is to click on that shape fill, come down and grab my eyedropper tool. You can see there wherever that eyedropper tool is placed, it changes color. So if I click on the green now, what it's going to do is to turn that circle green. If I went in and highlighted that entire page, for instance, and again grab my eyedropper tool, and what I might do is change the outline of each of these to, let's say, black. If I click on there, it's black, and I've changed the outline to each of those shapes. So it's a good way of changing the color or formatting multiple objects at any one time. Top tip number 4 is a chart animation. So if I go in here into the insert tab, grab a chart, Let's just grab that standard one, click OK. We can close that Excel because we're not going to manipulate any data. We go up here into our animation tab, and I'm just going to choose to float in, so that entire chart just floats in as we would play that slideshow. But what we also have the ability to now be able to do is these effect options. So if I come down here, what I can actually do is to have each series float in one at a time. I can have them float in by category, or by elements. So a pretty nifty little tool. Top tip number 5 is an Alt-Shift order. So we have 6 steps there. Let's say we made a mistake. We wanted to add it in a slightly different order. So if I just put the cursor in front of step 5 there, go Shift-Alt, and use my up arrow, I can move where that step 5 fits in. I could do that with multiple steps. I can rearrange the entire order. That could be a paragraph that I'm rearranging. Tip number 6 is our quick access toolbar. Up in the top left hand corner, these little icons up the top here that we can see. So that one there is a duplicate selected slides. I have a start from beginning. These are preset and determined by the actual user. So how we can customize that is to click on that little arrow here, and these are our basic ones that we can change. So we could add an email option up there, we could have a new slideshow, we could open a slideshow. It just makes it easy that we don't have to actually go through the ribbon to find these things. The other thing I can do is to go into here into more commands, and I've got the full gamut, the full range of things that I could add. So let's say I wanted to have spelling up there. I would simply click on spelling, I would add it, click OK, and now we've got the ability to check through a document just with a one click instead of going through our ribbon. Tip number 7 is a thing called Smart Lookup. So I've got a paragraph of information here. Let's say I want to know a little bit more about cheaters. So I go down and I highlight the word cheaters. I go to my review tab, and there's a button here that says Smart Lookup. When you click that, a whole range of information about cheaters pops up down the side. There'll be images towards the bottom. I can click on one of those images. I can copy it in. Let's paste that image onto that page. Take a little bit of time to load there. Let's try a different one. Copy and paste that image onto the page and rearrange it however I like. Our design ideas as well pops up as soon as we've done that. So very quickly I can format that page. A few little shortcuts. These are something that I've only just learned about. They're absolutely fantastic little tools. A little bit hard to remember them all, which is fine, because if we go into slideshow mode, all we need to do is to hit our F1 button and a whole list of these shortcuts pop up. So these are our general ones. We have some over here in the media. We've got our ink laser ones. We've got some touch ones. So let's go through a couple of them while we're here. The first one, if I'm in slideshow mode and I hit the letter W, it turns to a white screen. I might want to draw all over that screen. May want to have the information disappear while I ask a question, whatever. But if I hit W again, I come back to where we are. Hit B, and we've got a black screen. Control P turns my pointer here into a pen, so I can actually start writing on this slide. And when I'm done writing, I want to move on to something else. I hit E, and we've erased it. Control I turns us into a highlighting tool, and again we hit E to erase it. I might want to zoom in during a presentation, so it's just a matter of pressing the plus button to zoom in, and I've got the ability to move around. If I want to zoom back out, it's just the minus button to back where we were. Control L, so we've still got the highlighter on there, you can see. So if I just hit Control I again, that highlighter disappears. Control L turns the pointer into a laser pointer, and you can see there I can direct people's attention to different parts. And finally, the last one, if I hit any number and then enter following it, it actually moved to that slide. So we're on slide 9 at the moment. Next one I want to go to is 10. So if I type in 10 and hit enter, we're on to our next slide. So top tip number 9 is how to animate some images. So here is our great white shark, and what we're going to do is to go up here into animations. We've got to highlight our shark first, and we're going to go down here all the way to the bottom, and we're going to select a custom path. So what I'm going to do is to draw a path that I want that shark to follow. Once I've done that, I double click, and away he goes. Now he's moved very, very quickly there, as you can see, but if we go up to here and click on this little arrow, we've got show additional effect options. We click on this one, and what we can do is to make it a little bit smoother at the start. We can slow it down at the start. We can put a little bit of a bounce at the end. We can have it reversing. We can also change the timing. So let's slow it down a little bit up to 5 seconds. Hit OK, and let's see what that now looks like. So there's a way we can animate our images. How to create an instant photo album. So what we're going to do is to go up to the Insert tab. We're going to find Photo Album, which is here. We'll go to a folder on our drive. Let's go to this one, a whole heap of Bitmojis that I've got here, ready to go. So let's highlight all of those. We hit Insert, and now we've got a few options. So we can have them as a single photo on each page. We could have 2 pictures on it on each page, and it shows you page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. There's a couple of other options that I could have here as well. I can make them black and white. I can change the frame shape. And when I hit create, what it does is creates it in a completely separate PowerPoint. I can then use some design ideas, etc. But you can see that each of those images have now been put into a presentation ready to go. Tip number 11 is to reuse slides. If we go to our Home tab, we have a button here that says Reuse Slides. Now, once I open that, all the recent slides, PowerPoints that I've been using pop open here on the side. Also, any that have been shared with me, you'll also see in here. I could go into any one of those. This is just a single slide. I can grab that one and pop that straight into my PowerPoint ready to go. You can see there it's populated onto that new page. Link to Excel. If I duck out for a moment to an Excel, I've got here some students are at the zoo. We asked them to count the number of elephants, tigers, giraffes, leopards and cheetahs that they saw, and then we're going to insert a chart of that. So let's choose one that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is to copy that chart, pop back into PowerPoint, and we are going to paste that chart in. Now down the bottom here, you see an options bar opens up. So here we can use the destination theme and embed the workbook. Here we're going to keep the same source formatting and embed the workbook. But these are the ones that we're looking at here in particular, the ones that say link data. So you can see that one there and that one there. So if I choose that one for now, what it's going to do is to link this data always back to that Excel PowerPoint, that Excel spreadsheet. So if I go into that Excel spreadsheet, and let's say we didn't see 12 elephants at the zoo, but we only saw 3 elephants at the zoo, straight away that changes it within Excel. But also if I go back into my PowerPoint, it's also edited it within there as well. Got my usual options here. I can choose what things that I want shown in that chart. I can change the style, etc. How to create an animated gift. Well, what I'm going to do is to duck out to a blank PowerPoint that I've got here set up ready to go. We're going to go into the Insert tab. We're going to select our Smart Art, and one that I have used before. Let's scroll down to, there's a set of gears down here. I'm going to just pop that in. Let's quickly label these A, B, and C gears. Over here, I'm going to copy that slide and paste it. On the second one, what I'm actually going to do now is to rotate those gears slightly, making sure we go in the right direction. And then I'm going to copy that one and do the same very quickly again. Just rotate it a little bit further. Now what I'm going to do is to go into File, and we're going to choose to export, create an animated GIF. We can change the timing, so let's say we want each slide to go for 2 seconds. We can change the file size. I'm going to create that GIF. Let's just call it Gears. I'll pop it into my Pictures folder and save. Back into our PowerPoint. Here we've got our page ready to put that GIF in. So we're going to go Insert, Pictures, from this device, into our Picture folder, find the gears, and there we are. If I go into slideshow mode now, we can see that rotation of the gears. Layered images. On the next slide, I've got one here that I prepared a little bit earlier because this is a little bit of a longer project. But you can see here I've got a UFO, I've got a background. If I go up into my animations tab, animation pane, and play that animation, you can see the UFO drops down behind a layer and then pops up. So let's have a look at how we've done this. The instructions are here on the PowerPoint. If I go to a blank slide, I'm going to go down, I'm going to insert a picture. Let's go our stock images. Let's just grab this one here. Let's insert that. Resize it just to fit the screen. What we're going to do is to copy that page. Or instead of copying, let's just duplicate. And on the second one, we're going to remove some of that background. I'm going to try and get rid of all that sky in the background. So mark areas to keep. Let's keep all these buildings. Getting there. And let's get rid of this bit of sky. That'll do us. Once we've done that, we're going to copy that one. We're going to go back into our very first one and we're going to paste over the top. So you can see here I've got the buildings in the front, still got the sky and the buildings in the background. So if we pop that on there, I'm now going to try and find, let's stick with the UFO theme. So we're going to go Insert Pictures. This time we're going to look online. We're going to find our UFO. This UFO looks suitable, nice easy background to get rid of. So we're going to insert that. Just make it a little bit smaller. Those design ideas keep popping up. We're going to remove the background. There we go, done. We're going to keep that. So there is our little UFO. You can see there it's over all the layers at the moment. So what we need to do is first we'll set the scene or the pathway for that animation to follow. So if we go back up into our animations, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Now we've got a few options here. We can do an arc. We can do some turns, a loop. We can do a custom path. The one I used before was an arc. So let's see how that looks. And you can see there that's just a tiny little arc. What we might do is to make that a much bigger one. So it goes something like so. You can see the pathway that it's going to follow. Now if I was to play that animation now, it just goes over the outside of the buildings. We can change the timing. So let's do that while we're in there. Let's say we want that to take 5 seconds, so a little bit slower. But the real secret in this one is to go into, we select our UFO, go into our arrange tool, and down the bottom here we have selection pane. So this way what we've got is we want 5 to go in between 3 and 2. So this time when I actually play that animation, you can see how it ducks in behind the buildings and back out the other side. And finally, top tip number 15. Again, I'm going to go to a new PowerPoint. I've got 2 slides that are already set up in a PowerPoint. And what we're going to do is to loop those slides. You may have something that you want to continue to play. I've just got a little 2-page, 2-slide PowerPoint here. So if we go into our slideshow tab, there's a button that says set up slideshow just here. What we need to do is to tick this one that says browsed at a kiosk in full screen. And then what we're going to do is, well, we've got some other options there, but we're going to leave those blank. What we're going to do is back into our transitions, and we're going to set a time for each. So this one here, this after, we want slides to move forward after 2 seconds, and we're going to make sure that we apply that to all. So now when I play that slideshow, it'll play the first slide, second slide, and then back to that first slide, and that PowerPoint will continue to loop until I escape out of it. That's video number 2 of 3. I hope you enjoyed it and found something useful.